Please give it up for Josh Firestine.
Thank you so much. How we doing, Spokane? Hell yeah, it's good to be here, man. My name is Josh Firestine, and I hate the way I look. I have a douchey look, and I know it. Like, I look like a social worker who doesn't have custody of his own kids. Just giving out bad advice on behalf of the state. I hate it. I look like I teach a skateboarding class at my church. Just kick flipping for Christ every Sunday. And I do, send your kids, it'll be fun. It's in Seattle though, so send a helmet. And maybe a 45, because things get dicey sometimes. I hate the way I look, man. The other day my friend said I look like I sell cocaine. I don't, sorry ladies, I don't. I do. No, I don't. I wish I did though, because I'd be rich, man. I'd be rich, because I know where to sell it. If you sell coke, the best place to sell it would be outside of a party city. Right? People walk out, you go, hey man, you like to party? They can't say no. Don't lie to me, you have 2 handfuls of party supplies. You have a SpongeBob pinata, let me fill it with some candy, baby. $80, meet me in the parking lot behind Ross. Because for some reason, Party City's always near a Ross, I don't know what that's about. Or a Marshall's, one of those 2 stores. Some kind of conspiracy, I don't know. I do know this, you should not buy drugs from the guy outside of Ross. Because when you do, the zipper on the bag doesn't work, and it's a big problem. Okay, a couple of cool people up front, yeah. Yeah, they got front row ticket money, because they're cool people. And the rest, you don't get that joke, and that's because you don't do drugs, and you shop at Nordstrom or whatever. And you have a good job and your parents are proud of you and all your shirts have all the buttons. And you know what? I can feel you judging me right now. And fuck you guys, all right? You don't get to judge me. Only God can judge me, that's what I always say. I don't say that, but I do love that phrase. We all have that one friend that says that, right? We all have one friend, usually drunk on a sidewalk somewhere. He's like, you know what, Jennifer? You know what? Hey, look, fuck you, okay? Only God can judge me. All right, Sarah, well, God saw all 12 of those tequila shots you took. And we can all see your titty right now, so why don't you put Lefty back in your blouse, fix your heels, get your shit together, because we got a Luke Combs concert to get to. I'm not getting kicked out again, Sarah. Only God can judge me. Have you noticed that people only say only God can judge me right after they just did a bunch of stuff that God is going to for sure send them to hell for? My friend did that. He was like, yeah, dude, I cheated on my wife, but you don't get to judge me. Only God can judge me. I was like, whoa, relax, dude. I'm not judging you. I'm just letting you know that's adultery. That's the 7th commandment. God's gonna judge you pretty hard on that one. He only commanded 10 things. That's one of them. That's 10%. That's a lot. Also, on top of that, you did it with your friend's wife. That's stealing. That's the 8th commandment. It's also coveting thy neighbor. That's the 10th. That's 3 out of 10 commandments. If that was baseball, his batting average would be 300 on the 10 commandments. And that's a Hall of Fame career. If hell has a Hall of Fame, he's the Tony Gwynn of sin. He's getting it. I told my friend that and he goes, God damn it. And I was like, well, that's 4, so. That's a lock. You're in for sure, buddy. It's good to be here doing comedy. It's a lot better than my last job. My last job was the Army. I was in the Army for 8.5 years, and okay, sure, cool. Sure. 8.5 years. People don't believe me because I'm fat now, and that's fair. It hurts, but it's fair. I'm always like, yeah, I was in the Army. They're like, you, Army? Arby's, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, bombs and bullets, not you. Beef and cheddar? I'll take 2. Thank you very much. Just throw some horsey sauce in the bag, whatever that stuff is. I was an Army Ranger too. No one ever pleased that. Like, really, dude? Army Ranger? Army Park Ranger at best. Look at you. You didn't search for Taliban, you searched for picnic baskets. Where's Boo Boo? I'll find Boo Boo, you Yogi Bear looking piece of shit. You all remember Yogi and Boo Boo? Yeah. Those weird bears that only wore ties. Like they were the perverted lawyers of the forest. So he was in the army. And do you have any veterans here tonight? Any veterans? Oh, cool. Very cool. Very cool. Army? Where you at? Army? Make some noise. All right, very cool. Navy? Make some noise, Navy. Okay. Yeah, it's not a submarine. You can do a full clap. Unless you work for Ocean Gate, and then it's different. Oh, you guys are all friends with that Saudi prince? Like, Air Force, where you at? Where's Air Force at? Quiet and professional, very nice. Any Marines? I got some crayons back here, I think. Where'd they go? I don't know where I put them. Weird one, but any Coast Guard? Really? Thank you for your service and for making drugs more expensive, you piece of shit. Thanks for protecting America from a good time. Every time I see one of those videos of like Coast Guard guys going into a submarine, I'm like, that's so badass, but fuck, I hope they get away. Party City's raising their prices. I gotta do something about this. Let me ask the veterans something. You guys like when people say thank you for your service? Do you guys like that? No, we don't like it. We don't like it. Well, we don't want to say anything because it's rude, right? It's very polite. We appreciate the sentiment. It's really nice, but it's just a weird vibe. It's just a weird thing that happens because, like, for me, it's like I wasn't thinking about the war, and then you made me think about the war, right? It was like at Safeway or whatever, and I'm giving the lady my ID, and she goes, "Oh, veteran, thank you for your service." I'm like, "Oh, thank you for reminding me of when Brian died." Can you just scan this liter of Tito's and get me the fuck out of this Safeway? Because I have things to drink about, and I think you know that, Kathy. I come in here on a weekly basis, I get 3 things. I get Tito's, Top Ramen, and Kool-Aid. I think you know what's happening. Yeah, Army, 8.5 years. I went to Afghanistan 3 times, and that was, I get a lot of weird questions when I tell people that. A lot of weird questions. The first question I always get from people is, did you ever kill anybody? Did you ever kill someone? And that's a weird question, right? You're gonna make me feel uncomfortable, put me on the spot like this, like at church? Really, David? That's where you wanna have this talk? Yes, I did. But that was when I worked at the nursing home. Like, I don't see what that has to do with the Army. What a weird question, dude. Mind your own business. Another question people like to ask is, why did you join the Army? And that's the first question they ask you at basic training. They get everyone in a big circle, like you're gonna play Duck, Duck, Goose or something. And then we didn't, and that was disappointing. Because I was fast back then, okay? I was young, thin. You weren't gonna duck my goose. I was gonna get you. Promise that. But that's not what happened. They just got us in a circle, and then they asked us why we joined the Army. It was like a motivation thing, try to get us all hyped up for the war and stuff. And it worked at first. The first few guys, super motivated. But as the answers came in, the motivation levels drastically dropped. Like the first couple guys were like, I joined because of 9/11. Or I joined to serve my country. And we were like, hell yeah, USA, Toby Keith, right on, brother, welcome. But the next guy was like, well, a judge told me. Said I had 2 options. And I was like, yeah, tattoo face, you look like you stab people. That makes sense. We could probably use your knife skills here in the Army. Good career choice. Grab a bayonet, start practicing. Then there was one guy who was like, I just joined for the college money. We were like, that guy's not gonna make it, right? And then he didn't, so surprise, surprise. But he didn't die, he's just a pussy, it's okay. Just couldn't do sit-ups. I'm sure he has a great job at Target selling weird bathing suits or whatever. I don't know what he's doing. The best answer, though, is this one guy. He got up in front of the circle, pumped up his chest like this, and he was like, I joined the Army so that my son wouldn't have to. And he walked off like that. So my son wouldn't have to? I was like, hey, yo, dude, how old is your son? Was it like a Hunger Games situation? You volunteered as tribute at the Strip Mall Recruiting Center? In between the Ross and Party City? What are you talking about, dude? Or was it more like Mulan? You know, like some old general comes to your village on a horse, pulls out a scroll. He's like, all right, one man from every family must serve in the war. And this guy's like, hold on a second, Zachary. You're only 7. Let daddy be the hero. That was such a tool, man. We're good friends to this day. I saw him in October at a reunion. And he doesn't have custody of his son, so that's interesting. It's a whole fun thing. Anyways, they were asking us this question, and they finally get to me, and they're like, Firestine, why did you join the Army? And so I got up in front of the circle, puffed up my chest. I was like, I joined the Army because my dad didn't join the Army. And I did push-ups for the rest of the day. It's worth it, man. It's worth it. I like doing this a lot. I like doing comedy. It's a great job. I get to travel around a lot. I actually just went to go see my friends get married in Kentucky. My 2 friends got married. They're both named Zach. Zach and Zach. I think that's cute. I call them ZZ top and bottom. They're cool guys. They're cool guys. I ran the joke by them. They're okay with it. They said, maybe not at the reception. Don't tell that in your speech, but... And I was in Kentucky. I like being in Kentucky. My dad's from Kentucky. I go there quite a bit. He's from Eastern Kentucky. He went to high school with Billy Ray Cyrus. You guys remember that guy? Billy Ray, don't break my heart, my achy breaky. And then he broke his daughter. Do you remember that guy? Cool guy. Cool dad. Northern Kentucky. I was in Northern Kentucky in Louisville, and it's on the border of Indiana. They call the area Kentuckiana. I thought that was cute. They just mixed the name of the 2 states. We can't do that here, right? Y'all live in Spokane. What's the next closest state? Idaho? Yeah, you can't be like, oh yeah, I'm from Washoe. Washoe? I don't think that's a place. I think that's what a pimp does on Sundays. He's gotta wash his hose for the work week. Monday's coming, baby. Businessmen are on their way. Get them clean. Yeah, I'm doing good though. My wife and I just celebrated 11 years of marriage. And thanks, yeah. And my girlfriend and I celebrated No. 11 years, very happy. I want to do something nice for my wife for her anniversary. I got her favorite breakfast on Uber Eats. It's what? What's wrong? That wasn't the only thing I did. It was just the first thing. It wasn't like I walked in and was like, here, eat your biscuits, bitch, that's all you get. Eat gravy next year. No, I just thought it'd be sweet. Breakfast in bed, and her favorite breakfast is a Monte Cristo sandwich, which I can't make, from a restaurant that's 5 minutes from my house. And then it took an hour and a half to get there. And when it got there, all of our food was there and perfect, except my wife's Monte Cristo sandwich. I know, I felt terrible eating my Monte Cristo sandwich. Dang, that's 3 years in a row. That's crazy. It's cool to be married. We have 2 beautiful children and 1 ugly one. And no, we got rid of it, obviously. Should have seen it. Ugh, gross. Not abortion, dropped it off in Mexico. We're pro-life. Two kids at home. We have a 9-year-old daughter and a newborn son at home. And yeah, thanks. We're really blessed to have our son, really. We're really lucky. He was born a month late, which is really dangerous, if you don't know. And we asked the doctor what we can do to best safely get this kid out and induce labor. And the doctor said the best way to induce labor is to stimulate the nipples for 1 to 3 hours per day. And I was like, I don't know, doc, sounds rough. But marriage is about sacrifice. And I'm a good husband. So we did it. We did it for a week straight, but the baby never came. I did. But now my nipples are super chafed, and I don't know what to do about that. They've been bleeding for 3 months. If anyone's a doctor, I'd like to show you something after the show. They're inverted now. I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't know you can go from an outie to an innie, but I'm trying to get back out, so if someone can help me, we'll suction cup or something. I don't know, we'll do something. It's cool having kids, man. I love it. My wife decided this year we're gonna homeschool our daughter. But she has a job, which means that she decided that I'm going to homeschool her daughter. And I'm not capable of that. I'm an idiot. I'm sitting there trying to teach her how to do math, but I can't do math. You know what I mean? Like, I bad. Like, this is me trying to teach my daughter math. Okay, Madison, Daddy bought 12 White Claws. Because I'm a man. Daddy bought 12 White Claws. There's 5 left in the fridge. So if I bought 12 and there's 5 left, how many hours until I can drive us to Denny's? We didn't make it. I actually did take her to Denny's the other day, just me and her, a little daddy-daughter date. I thought that was cute. Until I walked in and realized that if you take a kid to Denny's without their mom, people assume you do not have custody of that kid. We get suspicious real quick. The waitress came over and asked if I was her dad, but not in a sweet way, you know? She wasn't like, oh, sweetie, is this your dad? How cute. No, she came in hot, inquisitive. She was like, hey, do you know this man right here? Is this your father? Don't look, sir. Don't look at me. Look away. Do you know him? Blink twice if you need help. Do you know each other? Yeah, we know each other. We met at a park a few hours ago. Get off my back. I'm glad you laughed at that. Some people don't like those kind of jokes. I offended my friend with a joke like that the other day. He got my car, forgot I had kids. Saw my 2 car seats. He was like, oh, I didn't know you had kids. And I was like, I don't. Just hoping to find some, you know? And then he took the bus, so it was a win-win for me. I saved money and a bad conversation. That guy sucks. He's a dork. It's fun having kids though, man. When my wife was pregnant, I gained a bunch of weight. They call it sympathy weight. All my friends warned me about it. All my friends were like, you gotta be careful, sympathy weight. Be careful. I didn't know what that was. My friend was like, sympathy weight is like when your wife is craving a chalupa at 2 in the morning. Don't buy 2 chalupas. I was like, easy peasy. I bought 4 chalupas. And now I look like melted sour cream, but that's my fault. They warned me, I didn't heed that warning. But what nobody warned me about was sympathy stretch marks. And that's what I got, a matching pair of stretch marks with my wife, except it looks like one of us had a C-section, and it's not the one you think. Even she was like, why is one of your stretch marks horizontal? I don't know, but that's why I wear a shirt when we have sex from now on, for sure. Why don't you turn the lights off, get back under the sheets, and play a game called What Am I Squeezing? Can we do that? It's a fun game. These stretch marks. I tried to get rid of the stretch marks, y'all. I did. I tried everything. I tried going to the gym. Too hard. Too hard. I had a personal trainer on the first day, like, all right, we're gonna hit the bench press. I was like, there's a Panda Express in the same parking lot. Try that. I tried cocoa butter, because a lot of ladies told me cocoa butter helps. Not for me, just made me think of chocolate all day. Just rubbing it on at night, like, yeah, I could use a Yoo-hoo in bed right now. I even tried to lie. I told my wife that I would tell people I got attacked by a bear and survived. And she's like, that's a good idea. What was it, like a gummy bear? Or like what kind of bear? Too many Teddy Grahams? What did you do? I gave up though, man. I didn't get rid of the stretch marks. They're still there. I had to learn to accept it, but I didn't want to fully accept it, so I thought it'd be cool to cover it up. I thought it would be gangster to get the word American tattooed on my stomach. And I stand by it. I think it's a sick tattoo. But the guy missed my stretch marks. So now I have the word American tattooed above my stretch marks. Like the most accurate American name tag of all time. Like if you saw me at a pool in Cancun, you'd be like, what's up with that guy's weird, wrinkly belly? American. Okay, that checks out. I get it. I get it, dude. Yeah, put a shirt on. You're embarrassing us. I think it's a cool tattoo. Like, I don't think I need a passport anymore, right? Who needs a passport when you have this to just come across the border? Are you an American citizen, sir? You tell me if I'm an American citizen. Are you kidding me, dude? Green card? No. Red, white, and blue card. Look at it. And then that guy at customs would be like, oh shit, so sorry. Here, have a Coors Light. Drive safe. Welcome back to the States. So sorry. Don't tell my boss, please. I call this Old Faded Glory. And this is the Old Faded Glory hole right there. So that's, Is it hot in here? It's wet. I don't know why it's wet. Such a dumb tattoo. I was a much smaller man when I got this tattoo. It used to say USA, and now... I was much smaller. And it looked cool when I got it. That's the whole thing, is like, it looked really cool when I had 2.5 abs. Like, it looked really cool. And now, if I have my shirt off and you see me, you cannot see all the letters of the tattoo. That's how bad I've gotten. Like, if you want to read my tattoo, you got to take a tour of my body. You have to go in orbit like a satellite, you know? Like, flat earthers don't think my tattoo exists. Like, if my shirt was off right now, you know, wet panties and boners, I get it. Calm yourself, sir. Jesus. Don't eat that popcorn at me like that. But if you're on this side of me, you're like, maybe it says America or like amateur or something. And if you're over here, you're like, that guy's not Puerto Rican, right? I don't think so. The skin color, the accent. It looks like baseball font. Maybe he plays AA in San Juan. I don't know. Only God can judge him. I don't want to. It's embarrassing. You ever outgrow a tattoo? That's embarrassing. Here's how I found out I was too fat for the tattoo. I was on a boat with my friends last year, and I got caught being a creep. I was drunk. It's not an excuse, but I was drunk, and I got caught being a creep, staring at some pretty ladies on bikinis on another boat. And I don't know if they're pretty. I was fucked up, but I was staring at them on the boat, trying to hold myself up, just shirt off, just like, oh. Ladies, you know this guy, right? 2 a.m, he's like, hey, what's your address? So I'm staring, and I hear one of the girls go, what are you looking at, Eric? And my wife was like, who's Eric? I don't know, sounds like a pervert though. We should go to this side of the boat. Let's do a look at the water. I'm actually gonna jump in and go to the bottom and never come back up, because this is the worst day of my life. You guys are cool, man. You guys are cool, you guys are fun. That's about as political as I get, is having the word American tattooed on my stomach. I don't do political humor. I'm too dumb for it, man. I don't. Like, if you ask me, are you left wing or right wing? I'd be like, fucking boneless. I don't know. Just get some blue cheese like a goddamn American. That's all I know. Yeah, I don't care who's president. Just keep that chunky cheese coming down my throat, dude. Everything's so political these days, though, isn't it? Everything's so political. I live over in Seattle, and the vaccine was a big political thing. I'm sure it wasn't here, you know, Spokane. You guys already have AIDS or whatever. I don't know what's going on here. But over there, everyone's so judgy, man. They were acting like heroes. They're acting like heroes if they had theirs, and then acting judgmental if you didn't have yours. I hated that. I got mine, but I didn't act like a hero, you know? I'm just poor, and they were free, so... I don't turn down free stuff. My dad taught me that. They were like, free shots. I was like, a word? What's it like, Patron, Hennessy, Tito's, Jack Daniels? She's like, no, it's Moderna. I never heard of Moderna, but fuck it, line them up, let's party, you know? It's like, you don't understand, sir, it's a needle. Like, oh, shit, well, this is Seattle, so... when in Rome, you know? You got a belt in an alleyway somewhere? Make this more authentic? Can you get a homeless guy to shit in front of me? Make it a real Seattle experience. Be fantastic. You guys are cool though, man. You guys don't seem like you get offended by stuff. People get too offended by things these days, man. You're always judging each other, getting offended by stuff. Context is important though. I think context is important when you get offended about these things. I've dealt with my whole life dealing with this context thing. Like, I have a brother, an older brother with Down syndrome. And I don't know how you feel about the R word, but it is my brother's favorite word. He loves it. My brother says the R word like rappers say the N word. He's got an album coming out called RWA. It's him and his bowling buddies. He does though, he loves it, and he says it, and he knows that he can say it and you can't. And he revels in that. He loves it, he likes making people feel uncomfortable, and he likes being an asshole. And I love him for him, he's the best. But sometimes, people get offended on behalf of other people. And every once in a while, one of those douchebags runs into my brother. It makes for a magical moment. This one time we were at Starbucks. My mom and my sister are sitting here talking. My brother and I are here waiting for our frappuccinos because we're a couple of pansies and we're waiting. And my mom laughed, my sister said something funny, and then my mom goes, "Oh my God, that's retarded." And then this other guy over here heard that, saw my brother, and was like, "Time to be a hero." And so he went over, started berating my mom and my sister, calling them all kinds of names, telling them they need to be more aware of their surroundings, check who's around them, be more polite, and then called my mom an inconsiderate bitch. "You inconsiderate bitch." And my brother hears that from over here. And he hears, "Inconsiderate bitch." And he's like, it takes him a second, you know? And then he realizes what's happening. He says, "Oh, hell no." And he walks over, he grabs the guy by the shoulder, spins him around, and goes, "Hey, I am the one who is a retard." And then all eyes were on us. And then this guy's looking at me like I'm supposed to do something. He's like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Hey, dude, you're the one trying to fight a retard at Starbucks right now? Don't bring me into your bigoted bullshit, okay?" I'm glad you guys like that. My brother's he's a big fan. He's gonna hear this and hear you guys laugh, and he's gonna think that this is his comedy special, and that's gonna be great. You guys have been cool. I just want to say, if you were offended by anything that I said tonight, I truly am sorry that you suck. That must be a hard life. I mean it though, man. There's a time and a place to get offended. I don't know if a comedy show's that place, you know? I mean, if Kramer's on stage, then yeah, for sure, but I don't know. I offend people sometimes. I offended a lady in Portland the other day, which is easy to do, by the way. I bumped into this lady at a coffee shop and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am." And she turned around and she goes, "Hey, that's pretty messed up." Yeah, that's why I said I'm sorry, like I meant it. And she was like, "No, ma'am. You shouldn't say ma'am to a woman. That's offensive." I didn't know that. But I wanted to be nice and respectful, because I'm a good guy. So I was like, "Oh, shoot. Well, in that case, my bad, ho." "I'm sorry I bumped you, bitch. I had no idea that you were going to be such a cunt about this. Oh my God, if I had known." She was like, "Did you really just call me a hoe?" "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I did." I'm Josh Firestine. Thank you very much. Have a good night.